Warm greetings from the high 10. It's Everyday Shenanigans, and thanks for joining me. Today is Monday, the start of a new week. Hope you all had a safe and warm weekend. Stay warm inside of your cozy homes. This will be an all-inclusive live pertaining to the tuber invasion that has touched down East Tennessee pertaining to this wicked case out of Rogersville, Tennessee. I'm also going to discuss Grandus Shamandus. I'm also going to discuss what she told to a friend allegedly. Someone has mentioned this in the queue, and I want to touch on some things that were said. The issue of the bathing suit that the child allegedly wore or didn't wear. And also I want to touch on Andy, the co-worker, talking to another YouTuber, why, and also the evidence that has been gathered. And what did they gather on June 15th and thereafter pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells? Thank you all so much for joining me. I'm going to play you said information from the YouTube queue. This is of said parties that have touched down on Tennessee soil. The title of the video is "The Good People of Tennessee Ain't Having It." 4 minutes, 6 seconds.
Have you seen Summer Wells? Okay. All right.
Just find this and this, please.
I'm going to block out the music because I'm not going to play any music on my channel that I don't have any copyrights to. But that's the start of people yelling and screaming at some neighbors, asking about Summer Wells. And the person has music playing on the in the video, so I'm not going to play the music. But you can go over and find the said video in the YouTube queue. It's very strange, odd behavior from said persons. I really want to get into talking about anything pertaining to people coming here, because I had already made it clear how I felt about all of that a month and a half or so ago. But just very, I can't really play the video because everything has music in it. Hold on 1 second. Let me go back and see if I can. Hello, everybody.
You have chest pains. This bullshit's done. We know what's going on. I have no doubt in my mind that they're involved in it. But we're part of it. Let the law do their thing. I make law enforcement. I know you guys just work the case. Let them do their job. That's all I ask. They come up on here. You've been over at the cemetery where my family buried at. We're tired of it. Just get your vehicles and leave. If not, I'll look all along. No, they're not letting our property. We don't want her. I took them right there. Out there, yeah. So they drove around. No disrespect. Yeah. Well, yeah, I just got to put more cameras up. So if anybody's up there, we'll be prosecuted by the same time. You know, they're not. They got to go equal in Texas right now. It's time to leave. I respect what y'all doing. It's been almost, 8 months now? 9 months? Yeah. It's got leaves. 6 months. I don't know. It's got leaves. Leslie Earhart from TBI. She's not releasing anything. So please, just go on. Let them do their job. It's turned into another ambulance. So I ask you to sleep. Very nice.
Okay, well, we're bringing some dog food. We're going to leave right there.
Okay, that was the good people of Tennessee ain't having it. Let me address that first, and also the Andy situation, because you'll see all that said information in the queue. As I said, this is an all-inclusive live. I'm touching on different subject matters in this live. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. As I tell people, everything I do and talk about on my channel is meticulous. Whether you like it or not, agree with it or not, you don't have to. It doesn't really matter to me because I don't walk in other people's paths. That's just who I am. If I get a feeling about something that it's not right, it's not copacetic, that's the feeling I get. You don't have to get it. You don't have to have it, because that's the point of each person having their own perception, discerning spirit. My spirit is not your spirit. I already told people this was not going to be favorable a month and a half ago when these people went there. And you see how that turned out. So what I have to ask myself is, why the fuck would you go back? Why would you go back? Now you got somebody telling you to get off their property. Nobody should even have to tell a grown person that, period. So this is where I have the problem with people being genuine, because why even go back? It's like, to me, you like drama. You like trouble. I'm going to go ahead and say it because it's out there. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, because I didn't want to go into this territory because it brings problems when you speak on certain situations. And that's why I always tell you all, don't mention anything in the chat. Don't mention anybody's name in the chat. This is why I don't like you mentioning anybody's name, because it carries a bone. People carry a bone, and they'll put things out saying you said something when you didn't say it. And I really don't have to explain myself, because if I got something to say, I'm going to say it directly like I'm saying it now. You have to like drama, because there really was no purpose in going back. If you went the first time, you should have did all your investigating, talking, banging on doors when you first came. Why go back? For what reason? Now we have pictures of this coworker Dudley in the queue with the said people. Why? So this is why I had the live the other night asking people how they felt about Dudley, his commentary. Do you believe him? Blah, blah, blah. T from the UK said she has a problem with him. She's entitled to her opinion. So now, that wasn't not even 2-3 days ago when I did the live. Fridays when I did the live. So don't you find it strange I did a live about the same situation pertaining to Dudley, and now he's in the queue in photographs with a YouTuber? See, there's a reason for the season. See, there's always a reason for anything that I do. There was a reason for me to talk about the subject matter. There's a reason that the information was uploaded hours ago to the YouTube queue with this now infamous coworker now talking to another YouTuber. So one could ask themselves, who's actually being genuine about the information that they're bringing and the purpose for everybody talking to this person and that person? Why do you want to talk to Dudley? For what reason? 2, Dudley, why do you want to talk to another YouTuber? Because, my thing is, how many times can you spin the same story? To me, it's no different than Don and Candy talking to different YouTubers. How many times can you keep spinning the same story? But see, if you're lying, then things are going to be different, and you're going to deviate. So, once again, what is the reason for talking to another YouTuber? For what? Taking pictures with each other? Up close shots? I thought that was a bit much. What the fuck? Just odd behavior. For what reason? For what reason? I mean, you do what you want to do. But my thing is, I'm not getting ready to fly all the way around the country back and forth. So I got better things to do with my time. And you see, I live here, and I wouldn't dare go poking around the Wells property or anybody else's property. I would prefer to talk to the townspeople, because what you should ask yourself is what I've already mentioned in my lives before. Where are the townspeople? Why aren't they out there rallying and protesting? Hey, where's Summer? Hey, why don't you all have any information to give to the public besides the few little updates you give it? You all don't find that strange behavior that the townspeople, the local counties and towns are not rallying together in the towns or at that 110 Ben Circle address? You don't find that strange? See, that's what you should be focusing on, is what is obvious. What is obvious. And to me, that's very obvious that day for day, month for month, No one in the town has anything to say about these people who appear to be guilty, changing of versions, and no one rallied outside the house, not one damn time to my knowledge. And then these people come in all of month 5 and want to touch down and wrangle with these people. Another YouTuber running down the damn drive, arguing and bickering. There is no way in hell I would subject myself to that type of buffoonery. Because first of all, you don't know what you're going to run into when you go to the said property. And then you've got this person coming down here disrespecting you. There's no way in hell I would even subject myself to that. That's why I always say you have to think about what you're doing and the choices that you make. Oh, I can't keep these trolls out of here for nothing. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And that's my opinion. That's my opinion. Because none of this makes any sense to me. But I know what's going on, and I don't have to say what's going on. You just read between the lines. It doesn't take 5, 6 trips to make your point about anything. I'm not going to waste my money flying around. Oops, I forgot it ain't my money. It's somebody else's money. Somebody else is donating their money for you to go, goof off. Because like AB had said on his channel, if I'm not mistaken, you're going to get information that people already know and it's public. Said so documents that anybody could call and get or get off the internet. And I know I'm not going to sit in an airport to go out of town to really get nothing, to talk to the same people about the same old stuff they already repeated before the Chris Madonna. I keeps it 100. And when I feel like the spirit isn't right, hell, that's my opinion. And that's how I feel about this whole situation. I don't feel like it's right. Because like I tell people, what you think you're going to go do may not turn out to be what you intended. That's why you have to think things out carefully. But when you don't give a fuck, then it's nothing to think about. You just do because you felt like it. And you can do what you want because you're grown. Moving on to my next subject. Shamandus. Grandus, I have a problem with you as of late because I'm trying to figure out what your problem is, why you came back, if indeed you actually left town. The information that you told to a certain woman about what happened on June 15th, if it's the truth or not. Someone has content on their channel. I'd like to play that said information because I do think it's very interesting, the information. And a lot of times as I've always said, we overlook certain things that have been said, have been done, things in photographs, pictures, we miss. And then it takes that one person to point it out to be like, hey, did you notice this? And then you go back and you be like, damn, how did I miss that? Well, one, I'm going to say this before I play the audio. I don't see the reason in someone telling their friend, stranger, anything about June 15th, because it'll get repeated, whether it's the truth or not. And a person will decide if he or she wants to believe what is the truth or not. But I can't see Grandus telling the truth about June 15th to somebody, because why say anything? You shouldn't be talking. And that's what I find so interesting about this storyline. Everybody's talking to everybody besides who the fuck they should be talking to, which is the FBI, Hawkins County Sheriff's Department. So what all are you telling people the same thing you're telling LE? Because I got a funny feeling that you're not. So I'm going to play that said information. You're entitled to take it as you will. Then there's a rumor about TBI questioning YouTubers, those who have spoken with Candy and Don. See, this goes back to the content I brought you previously in my lives pertaining to if there's ever an indictment. All this stuff you're seeing right now playing out on YouTube could possibly be in a courtroom. And as I said, jurors get bored very easily. They do not want to indulge in long-winded trials because they do have a life. They do have to work and pay bills. And the court does not pay you what you make an hour. So if you have a high-paying job, when you take jury duty, if you decide to take it, it will not pay you the same amount as your regular job. So then you will be missing work for some crazy trial. And God forbid you would ever get on this trial, you would chew all of your paws off and your foot, probably both feet. And then you're not going to take it serious because you're going to get bored by the time you get to YouTuber number 115. You'd be like, oh, hell no, I'm ready to get off this jury panel. Because if I'm getting bored with what's in the queue, imagine being a juror, listening to all the random YouTubers that will be called in to testify with their conversation with Don and Candy. Every neighbor that decided to immerse him or herself in the case. Boy H, Allie, the grandmother, the parents, neighbors, Jody Sue, Andy, whoever the hell else wants to join in, or whoever the DA decides they want to summons the court. Everybody at the stores where they went, hospital, whomever, wherever. It would be a circus. And by the time you go through all these witnesses, different conversations, as I said, you'll be chewing your paw off. This is a 31-minute video, and I'm going to play some of it, and you're welcome to go in the queue and find it on your own from Crime Mystery Monsters. It was uploaded 6 days ago. I found some of the information quite interesting. Some of it I had already heard before, but like I said, I'm going to play a little bit of it, and then we'll go from there. Thank you all so much for joining me. If you want to donate to the channel, $BigAngie129 Cash App. Thank you so much for joining me. Hold on. Let me go back. See how far back I got to go.
An elderly friend of Grandus's called because Grandus had told her what happened that day that Summer went missing. And this elderly lady supposedly did not know what to do with this information because it bothered her. She reached out to Critical K YouTube creator. Why she did that instead of the TBI, I don't know. Or Hawkins County, I have no idea. I'm just going over this because Emma said that the TBI had contacted her and that they had also contacted Critical K. Evidently, they're getting statements from these people about what the family told them, Dawn, Candace, and Grandma. But this one here is just about Grandma. You can go to Critical K's channel. I think right now it is flagged for something that doesn't have to do with this case. It's not totally taken down yet. You can go to her Patreon, and for a small fee, you can listen to the conversation between Grandma and her elderly friend. But I have it here from Emma from Crime Stories Obsessed. So you don't really have to do that unless you want to. Grandus said they arrived at the water hole that day, that she did stay in the truck, that she was getting minutes added to her phone. So that part of the conversation that Hunter gave in his interview with Chris McDonough evidently is true, or it's true as the two of them tell it. She said after she did that, she went on down to where the swimming pond was, river, and she was looking at flowers, and Summer was swimming. And Candace was on the phone to Dawn for ages. It's the way she said it. It's the way Grandus said it. It's the way the elderly lady told it. So we have to go by what she said, that she said. So take it for what it's worth. She said she couldn't hear nothing about what they were talking about. As far as where Hunter was at the time, she didn't elaborate. If Grandus told the elderly lady didn't go into any details about that. So we can assume either he was playing in the woods or he was playing with Summer. We don't know from her conversation at this point. while, Summer came and started complaining of feeling very cold, extremely thirsty. She had chills and she was shivering badly. She was very tired and sleepy. I think this is the point where Grandma put the outfit on Summer, because that was an outfit that Grandma had bought for Summer, not Candace. And she had bought it for Summer for her first day of school. So she still had it in the truck. Because evidently Candace, I don't even know if they had a towel to dry Summer off. You can see, I'm going to show you a clip of Summer swimming. And Summer doesn't have on a bathing suit. Summer actually has on the tank top and shorts that she wore that day when she arrived at Hunter's house, because he said she had on a little pink or purple tank top. Well, it's kind of a design, but it is pink or purple. And then he said, oh yeah, she had on shorts. So in the video of her swimming, that's what she's wearing. She's wearing that tank top and shorts.
Oops, sorry about that. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. It's having difficulties. Hold on. I don't know what's going on with this.
So there was no swimsuit. So that right there is, I don't know where that came from. Candace said she put it on her before she left the house. Hunter said that she went inside and changed Summer into it at his house, which is another little lie that I can't understand, because you can clearly see she's not in any swimsuit. She's in a pair of shorts and that tank top. I don't know if they took the wet clothes off of her and put that, what I call a jogging outfit, on her, the pants and the long sleeve zip up top, or if they just put it on over her wet clothes. But from there, I guess instead of, really checking on the child, they went on and they went to Sonic's and they got slushies. So Summer is already cold, and we're going to talk about why she's cold at the end of this. So Summer's already cold. So
hold on 1 second. Let me go back and see.
Give her basically a cup.
Let me go back and see what the child.
You can clearly see she's not in any purple. And
hold on. If this is a bathing suit or not. Hold on.
As far as the Critical Case channel.
They're not showing it. Okay.
Outfit that Grandma had bought for Summer. Okay, so they got the slushies, and then I guess Summer, is sleepy. They go to the grocery store.
Thank you, everybody.
True. Candace says for 5 minutes, but it was enough time that they had to supposedly have the boys come out to the truck and unload groceries and divide up Grandma's and hers. But according to Grandma, none of that ever happened, as you'll find out as I continue this story. So they dropped Hunter off, and I'm not going to go into any details about them dropping Hunter off or any of that, because she didn't mention that. Then it picks up what she told the elderly lady, her friend. They got home at 3:30. She told Emma from Crime Stories Obsessed and the elderly lady who talked to Critical K the same thing, that they got home at 3:30. But she went into more detail with her elderly friend. She said, this is Grandus. Grandus said she went on to go into her camper and go to sleep. And I can imagine she was tired at that time. She's an elderly lady also. So she'd been going since 7 o'clock that morning to the ER. She was in pain. Her knee was hurting. There was no planting of flowers. There was no giving of candy. There was no washing their hands. Summer was not feeling well. Summer was sick. Grandus goes to go in her camper and go to sleep. She said that Candace got on the phone with Dawn, or wrote Dawn, I guess she means texted Dawn, because supposedly Candace can only get Wi-Fi there. It is
in heaven. This little girl came up.
Sorry about that.
She told me
That was a commercial.
the grandmother's phone that actually calls out. I don't know how much of that is true or not. Just reporting. Candace talked to Don because supposedly Don is very, very controlling, and Candace has to get permission even to take the kids to the doctor at ER. Grandus said that after talking to Don, that Candace took off in the truck with Summer to go meet Don. She went in the trailer, her camper trailer, to go to sleep. Candace texted Don, and I guess he said, bring her. Candace takes off in the truck to go meet up with Don. Summer never got out of the truck. There was no unloading of groceries. She took off. Grandma says she never saw Summer after that. She never saw Summer after 3:30. She said, I guess she took a nap, a couple hours, and she waking up, she was still laying in bed. And Candace comes back at 5:30. She hears the truck pull up. She hears one door open and close. And a few minutes later, she hears Candace start screaming that Summer's missing. So that was the gist of the story that Grandma told her friend, according to the conversation between the elderly friend and Critical K on her channel. And that would align with the time that day that Don said he left work to go get something to eat. He left at 3:30, got back a little after 4. That would align with the time that Candace left. So he's in Jonesboro. Candace leaves the house, supposedly. We know that Don did say he left work at 3:30, so what happened? They meet up. If Summer passed, I'm sorry to say that, but if Summer passed away at this point, is all of this even true? I don't know. And then that gives 2 hours from 3:30 to 5:30. That is 2 hours. 2 hours for her to go meet Don. 2 hours for them to do whatever they did with Summer. Let's just theorize that then they hatched up a plan of how they were going to explain all this. If Summer did have SA on her, if she passed, CPS was coming. Now it's too late to take her to the ER or do anything. So what did they do? Where is Summer? Then Candace arrives back home at 5:30. The grandmother said she never seen Summer again after 3:30. She heard the truck pull up. She heard one door open and close. And then a few minutes later, she heard Candace screaming for Summer and that Summer was missing. What do you all think about that? Emma said the TBI is contacting different creators that have talked to Candace and Dawn and Grandma. She was contacted. They want statements from these people that the creators themselves and their commenters, or probably the people that have said they talked to the family members and told certain stories. I imagine the TBI wants to find out if these things are true or if they made them up. Emma also said, warned her commenters to be careful what they put in the comments section because the TBI is following all the YouTube creators and their commenters. Man, I would hate to have those jobs that the TBI has to sit and listen to all these crazy people.
Amen.
And their conversations,
Amen.
some of them hours long.
Yes,
and
amen.
They read through all these comments.
Amen.
I, myself, am not concerned in the least. I have not talked to any of the family members, not Dawn, not Candace, not Grandma, not the neighbors, not anybody else. And then there's the content creators who swear that they found footprints, Summer's footprints, bare footprints on two different properties, and that the dogs alerted on those footprints, the scent dogs, that they alerted that they were Summers. Well, the TBI and Hawkins County Sheriff's Department said nothing about that.
Exactly.
I would imagine,
Thank you.
wouldn't it make sense that if they had found those, they would in fact think that Summer did wander away or that somebody took her? They say
Exactly.
that
Thank you.
there was only like one footprint on one property and two footprints on another property. Well, if her feet were free, and it was a stranger carrying her off, wouldn't she be kicking and fighting and struggling?
Yes.
And if they set her down,
Yes.
look, if I'm 5 years old, a stranger's got me and they set me down, I'm going to take off, okay?
Exactly.
That's just what you would normally try to get away.
Hello, everybody.
I mean, unless, you know, they were hitting her, whatever, I don't know. The TBI, like I said, would they even be investigating all this? If they had found the footprints, they would have known she left the house. They would have known that it was possible that she was abducted, and they would say there's no evidence of an abduction. That right there would be some evidence.
Exactly.
Would it not? So they haven't commented on that. They haven't said anything about that. So I don't know if any of that's true or not. I don't know if these footprints or if any of it's true. It could just be another story. There's so many stories. Dawn and Candace themselves have taken this
Exactly,
to
Rabbit.
a new level, constantly making up things and constantly throwing shade here and there, so we really don't know what to believe and what not to believe. Okay, we're going to look at a picture of Summer in the truck that day on the milk jugs. Only because, and I know people hate this picture and I hate it.
Let me pause it for a second. I agree with this channel holder, Crime Mystery Monsters. It's the content creator. She's made a few valid points in this commentary. Anything that was mentioned of value would have been mentioned from start till now. And you never heard anything about a dog trail, a scent on a dog trail, a scent on a driveway, a scent at the edge of a driveway. You never heard anything about footprints. It wasn't until months later that we hear something from, I believe, Lawson about a dog trail and a driveway or whatever. My thing is, why would you wait so long? Still to this day, I've heard nothing about footprints. And as someone in the chat just said, wouldn't there be an adult's footprints? That makes no sense. You don't know who footprints they were if they're actually real. They could be that person had a grandchild running through there, their kids, whatever. But don't you think that'd be something they would mention to the public? And how far away is this house or houses? So you want me to believe there's several houses with footprints? It makes no logical sense. I'm still in a child. I'm not getting ready to have the child walking on nothing. Come on, make it make sense. Child is not going to be walking around. That doesn't even make sense. It can't be an abduction if she's walking from place to place. So what are you saying? She walked from place to place and then somebody picked her up. That's the only way that would make any logical sense. Reese, you're here.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
I am here.
Yeah, let me, I really didn't want anybody coming up just yet because I wanted to finish everything I wanted to say. But
no problem. I'm making coffee. Go ahead.
Okay, so that makes no sense to me. What else I wanted to say? This issue with Grandus, go back to my notes. So I tell people, what sense would it make for Grandus to tell this person these things, knowing there's a possibility that the person would repeat these things? You trust this person so much to tell them what you think happened or did happen. Could it be perhaps Grandus is removing herself from the situation, if I'm to believe these things are true, that she told the so-called elderly person? Because basically, that's what you're doing. So now we don't believe there were groceries. Candy said there were groceries. Well, allegedly, this woman is saying there were no groceries. There was no planting flowers. There was no candy exchange. She got out of the car, went straight inside. And I always thought that anyway. My knee hurts. I've been at the hospital all damn day. Would I really be getting out of the car to go look at flowers at the swim hole? See, I always question that whole scenario at the swim hole. Because when you are sick, I don't care what you're sick from, headache, stomachache, flu, virus, you are not trying to ride around all damn day in no car with nobody. You want to go home. And you would tell the driver, hey, I'm not feeling good. Let's go. I'm ready to go home. So you took the grandmother to the swim hole when? You want me also to believe she got out of the car with a messed up knee and walked down that path to a nasty swim hole to pick some flowers, allegedly. Well, I don't even remember seeing flowers when Christopher Dunn did the interview. Maybe I need to go back and see it again. So we go back to the house now. There's no unloading of groceries. It's just grandmama getting out, going in her camper. She's tired. She sleeps. She sleeps for a couple of hours. She wakes up. She has only one slam of a car door. Boom, boom, boom. Candy screaming. Now you're in the chat saying that's what Jody Sue heard, a scream. Well, Jody Sue didn't say that she heard a grown person scream, did she? I thought she was alluding to the fact that she heard a scream, which I'm thinking it meant a child scream. So I'm confused. Now she's public enemy number one by all these other people. I'm done with all of this, quite frankly, because none of it makes any sense. A woman telling a friend what happened allegedly that day. So what we have to ask ourselves, if this is true, did she tell law officials the same version she told this person? And Grandus, if this is true, why are you talking to people in Messenger on phones? I don't get it. But she wouldn't talk to the news. You didn't give a formal statement to the news, which I find very baffling when you were there on the day of this event. Seems like to me, you would give a formal statement to the news alongside your daughter and the husband. But you were a no-show. And allegedly you left, which I don't know if that's true, where you went. I don't know, don't care. But you come back to the same household where the husband is abusive to the wife and the children. Why would you return? Why would you go back and tell somebody what allegedly happened? Is it the truth what you told what happened? Or are you trying to remove yourself because you were with the daughter alone and perhaps the drop-off was on your watch, leaving boy H? What is the truth? Your daughter texting Don, she doesn't have Wi-Fi. But yet she's made calls to 911 a year before when they all had an altercation with this Jose fellow. So I think that's bullshit too. And I find it funny, the phone doesn't get any reception on the day that a child is missing. You say Candy left with the child and went to meet Don. So that means you do have full knowledge that the child left the property with Don. So you are complicit if this is the truth. You're still complicit. So you can't say the child was kidnapped from the property and never say nothing if you're telling this person, oh, yeah, she left with the little girl to meet Don. She was talking to him on the phone. So then that means you have to have been in earshot of the phone call. So now are you saying that Candy came in your camper and used the phone? Because I can't see you getting up from your sleep to go sit outside again. But, oh, that's right. That never happened. She didn't put your knee brace on outside. You went straight in from the ride from the doctor's office. If I'm getting that correct. No unloading of groceries. No candy exchange with you and the child. It's all fake conversation on Candy's part. You took a nap for a couple of hours. You wake up, you hear one car door slam. This is bullshit. Utter nonsense and bullshit. And what will be sick is if some of this is possibly true. That none of the grocery exchange took place. She didn't buy nothing but milk that day. You jumped out of the car, went and buying your business. She took the child on the dawn because the child was already dead in the car. They went and disposed of the child. She comes back, plays possum, starts hollering and screaming like she just went and looked for her child in the house. But see, I knew it was bullshit when Earhart gave the version the child possibly was taken outside without no shoes. That's not the version Candy gave to the dispatch. That's not the version she gave to the news. So why the hell is the TBI lady giving a different version than what was released to the news by Don and Candy when they were sitting outside giving the interview? So, Grandus, you are guilty of having knowledge, if this is true, that your daughter left the property with the child possibly dead and went and met Don. So that means you heard her tell Don what was going on with the baby on the phone, if this is true. But see, you don't even know what to believe. You don't know what to believe. This is some wicked stuff. Say what you got to say, Reese.
I just wanted to say that out of all the stories that I heard, and well, let me just back up. We never heard Grandus, I don't think, if anybody else has, say that the kid was kidnapped. That's number one. Number two, I still think she's guilty of something.
Say what now? You said nobody else said she was kidnapped.
No, Grandus. We never heard her actually say that she thought the kid was kidnapped, right? Have we heard that anywhere? Has Grandus ever said anything?
No, she's never spoken.
And we all assume that Grandus never spoke up and said anything. But now that this is coming out, one thing.
Yeah, this is old. This is months old. This conversation. For those who don't, it's an old conversation.
Right. And one thing police do say is criminals make mistakes and criminals slip up. And she's old. Let's not forget, she may be old, cantankerous, ignorant, lost her daughter, or whatever. Yeah. But when you get old, stuff starts to weigh on you. She had to talk to somebody having knowledge of this. You see what I'm saying?
But why tell it though, Maurice? Listen, why are you?
I understand. Why tell it? Why tell it? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
Well,
criminals confess the stupidest stuff.
Reese, do you believe this version from Grandus then?
I hate to use these words. 50-50.
Okay.
50-50, because if my original analogy, remember when I said Grandus was tired and she came home and took her ass in the camper or whatever and went to sleep, because that's a long ass day to be old and be hurting and be sitting in the emergency room doing COVID and all this old crazy stuff and going here, going there. That's a little bit too much. She ain't super granny now. Shit. I mean, still, excuse me. She ain't, what kind of heroin is she on? That she could just be all hop and go all day long like that. So, I mean, this is my first time hearing this story. So I'm kind of weighing in on what she's saying. Yes, she knows she's guilty as hell. Yes, I believe Don said, bring me my damn baby. I want to see. We got this stuff going on. Bring her to me.
Yeah, but that makes no sense.
It don't. No, none of it makes sense, Queen.
My thing is, somebody with sense would say, because he's already said that Candy's not the type to let something happen to the child accidental and not call 911. So then that means if he told her to call 911, she had no reason to go take the baby to Don. Ting.
I don't know, but I know. And then let's go back to we know.
I'm not saying what he says is true because he does lie. But what I'm saying is, this is why I said you have to think about everything that's being said by this one. Right. Because even now, this conversation contradicts what Don said about Candy not calling 911 if one of the children had an accident.
Well, we know that's a damn lie because they don't want. Look, we know that's a damn lie. Candy ain't calling no damn body. She calling her savior, Donnie. She ain't calling no damn 911. We know that.
You have to go back to the fact when he was in the car talking to somebody doing the tour of what he did on that day, coming home from work. He did slip up and say, "We turned here by the shed."
Yeah. Yeah, and then this missing theory of somebody come up there. Look, it take a lot of components to orchestrate a goddamn kidnapping up on that hill. Okay, you need a plan, a plot. I watch too many movies. You need
Hi, Kinsley.
You need a plan and a plot.
Somebody has a great point, and I thought about this too. How did Grandus get to the hospital? I always wondered that too, because that was left out, or I didn't hear it. How did Grandus get to the hospital that morning, or did she get there that night? Then that means Candy made 2 trips out that morning, back and forth from Kingsport or wherever the area is to back to Rogersville.
And then I thought to myself, Queen, damn, was she already starving to death, or did they give her drugs and send her out there to the damn water?
I believe that the child maybe was already sickly before she got in the water. So then that means somebody gave her something before she got in the swimming area.
Yes.
So now we're getting ready to go to the bathing suit issue. I have to go back and look at the video that this woman is speaking of, so I can
I saw it.
Because people are arguing in the chat about what she actually had on and blah blah blah.
It was a 2-piece of some sort. Well, now we know bathing suits can come in 2 pieces. It was a tank top, sort of like one of those little cutesy little tank top, skinny strap, and some shorts. It was not a full bathing suit. I can't even say that it was an actual swimsuit, but it was something that I've even put on my small children when they were, when they were little. Instead of buying a swimsuit, we had some little cotton shorts and a little, little tank top or whatever. You can still swim in it. And that's what it looked like to me.
Well, somebody else in the chat now, somebody's saying sundress.
It wasn't a dress. It was shorts. It was shorts. And I don't even think that was from that day, to be honest, the more I look at it.
Well, see, that's the whole point.
He said, Boy H said, when we always go. He said, every time we go. He mentioned that. I don't know when, but I heard him say.
Well, give the context of what you're trying to say, because we don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I heard him say, I heard him say, when we always go, or when we always go. Something like that, to the effect that they always go there. That is their spot.
Oh, that mercy. Hold on. This phone is acting up. I can't get a picture. I'm trying to see if she's got a picture posted of the little girl in the swimsuit.
But it's just weird. I'm like, what? The only thing I can believe is the milk, because I heard Allie say she was laying on that milk when I went out there to the car.
Mm-hmm. Now people are saying they don't think she even went out there to the car. Like,
she said it. Why would she say because she contradicted what her own son said.
You don't know what to believe.
Well, her own son, she straightened up that lie, because why would she go along with what she said after she heard Boy H say he don't know how to milk. The milk was on here, and Allie said
I got tired of that conversation with Chris Madonna, just going on and on about the damn milk.
Yeah. Allie said
milk in the middle, milk on the wide. Man, that shit got on my nerve.
Right. Allie said she saw her laying up on the milk.
You can't get an understanding. Let it go.
Mm-hmm. Now I believe that happened, but I don't understand. I mean, and then they start talking about maybe she was dead the day before. I mean, we've been into some all kind of stuff. I don't even have proof to believe that she was dead the day before. Well, I don't have nothing to go by.
Let me play the rest of this and see what this lady's finished saying.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I'll drop back down, Queen.
Okay, that's fine, baby.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can finish playing this audio, because it's like 31 minutes long.
One footprint on one property and 2 footprints on another property. Well, if her feet were free, and it was a stranger carrying her off, wouldn't she be kicking and fighting and struggling? And if they set her down, look, if I'm 5 years old, a stranger's got me and they set me down, I'm going to take off, okay? That's just what you would normally try to get away. I mean, unless, they were hitting her, whatever, I don't know. The TBI, like I said, would they even be investigating all this? If they had found the footprints, they would have known she left the house. They would have known that it was possible that she was abducted, and they would say there's no evidence of an abduction. That right there would be some evidence, would it not? So they haven't commented on that. They haven't said anything about that. So I don't know if any of that's true or not. I don't know if these footprints or if any of it's true. It could just be another story. There's so many stories. Dawn and Candace themselves have taken this to a new level, constantly making up things and constantly throwing shade here and there, so we really don't know what to believe and what not to believe. Okay, we're going to look at a picture of Summer in the truck that day on the milk jugs, only because, and I know people hate this picture and I hate it too, but we're going to go over a few things, so let's listen to that. Okay, in this picture, this is enlarged. You can see the stain here that's under the seat belt. And a lot of people speculated that this could be blood. Some people say it could be juice, it could be water. It could be either one. We don't really have a way to tell for sure. I do see that if you look closely, you can see that it is, whatever it is also sinking into the seatbelt. Right here along the line of the seatbelt, you can see it. And then here is a bigger area where it is soaked into the seatbelt. So you could speculate that it's blood. You could also say it's juice or it's water. So we don't know. We have no way of knowing what exactly it is. As far as her nail beds, and I've looked at this picture many times, but seriously, it looks to me like her nail beds are purplish and her nail is very white. And you can even see it on her fingers if you look, that the nail beds look purplish. This happens when blood is being taken from the extremities. As a nurse, I've always said that, and I've had to explain to people whose loved ones were dying in the hospital, they'd say, but the heart's still beating, the heart's still beating. And yes, the heart would be beating, sometimes just a few times a minute. What happens when someone's dying, unless it is something that happens very fast, usually if their body is shutting down, it's a slower process. I say the heart is greedy. This is called peripheral shutdown. What happens, and peripheral refers to your extremities. What happens is the heart realizes that the body itself is in trouble. So it takes the blood it needs to survive. At this point, it doesn't care about the rest of the body. It cares about the core, where it's sitting, where it's located. So it will stop the blood actually from going to the extremities, to the head, to the hands, to the legs. And it will save that blood for itself, and it will keep beating. Like I said, sometimes it's not like 60 to 100 beats a minute. Sometimes, I have sat with families as someone was dying, keep coming back in and checking the heart, because we could not pronounce time of death until that heart actually stopped beating. And it could take several hours for that to happen. Sometimes the heart would only beat 2 times in a minute, but it would beat because, like I said, I've always described it as greedy. It will steal from everything else to keep itself going until finally there's nothing left for it to do but shut down too. That's why people can be brain dead and their heart still beat. The heart has a mind of its own, I like to say, and it's going to survive no matter what until there's just no possible way for it to survive. So in this picture, I think that this is what was happening to Summer. It's just my opinion. May not mean anything, but then again, as a nurse, I've seen this happen before, the stages of dying. And the first thing to happen was their hands and their feet would get very, very cold, like almost like ice sometimes. But that's the first things that happen when you start to die, is your hands and your feet become very, very cold. So I just wanted to let you know that. And I truly believe that Summer, if she had not passed, was in the stages of being very, very bad off at this point and should have been in a hospital, should have been taken to an emergency room. Okay, remember that I told you that where Summer and Candace and Hunter were swimming that day was a river. This is Holston River, runs from Virginia into Tennessee. And I know because I lived in Virginia near, very familiar with the Holston River. Now, it took me a long time to find this, but this is a current water temperature map for South Holston. They built 4 different dams on the Holston River, the TVA did, for hydroelectric power. But I want to show you what the water temperature was on June the 15th, the day that Summer went swimming. And I've pulled this up. This is showing July the 22nd, 2018 through December the 20th, 2021. I couldn't get this to go any further forward. So as you see, this is 2019. So let's go to find June. Okay, right there. June the 14th through the 23rd of 2021. You see the water temperature, and this is, I left it on the high, not the low, a high water temperature so that you could see, was 71.63. So somewhere between, let's just say 71 and 72 degrees. That's what the water temperature was the day that she went swimming. It's what the water temperature was for the Holston River and for the lakes, which would be part of the dam system that they built. So the water is going to be the same temperature. Water comes in to the dam, water goes out of the dam. It's all running water. The temperature is not going to change, but your body temperature, that's what matters, especially with a child. But look, this is a fact. The water temperature was between 71 and 72 degrees. Water temperature for swimming. 78 to 82 degrees. And that's a given fact. 78 to 82 degrees. It was 81 degrees that day in Kingsport. You can look that up. I've looked it up. It was 81 degrees. Summer was swimming in water that was 71 to 72 degrees. Now, a child, when they get in the water, sometimes they don't realize that the temperature is too cold, especially a child. They're intent on playing, splashing around, and after you've been in the water a while, your body adjusts. But what happened that day, I believe, is that cold water, and it was too cold for Summer to have been swimming in, sucked the heat from her body. Her core temperature dropped. She was only in it for maybe 30 minutes, but it was too cold and it was up to her chest and she was down in it many times, splashing and playing. That cold water sucked the heat from Summer's body. That's why she started complaining of being very cold. She was shivering. She was thirsty. Those are all signs of hypothermia. And because she was thirsty, they went and got her an ice cold slushy to put more cold in her body. Her body temperature had dropped. We have no way of knowing what it was at. I've had patients in the hospital come back from surgery that they gave me a report that their temperature was fine, and they got to the room and their temperature was hovering around 73 degrees. I especially remember one lady. And I had to run, and I do mean run, down the stairs to surgery and get a bear blanket, because that was the only place they have them. And a bear blanket spelled B-A-I-R. You put it over the patient. There's a hose and a machine that hooks up to it that blows warm air onto the patient to warm up their body. And it took me 3 hours to get that woman's body temperature to come up to something that I wasn't terrified she would die. Summer should have been in a hospital. Summer's body temperature was dropping. Her core temperature had dropped, and her heart started pulling the blood from her extremities. There was no way for her to warm up. They put this outfit on her. Most of your heat's going to be lost from your head. She was probably still wet. They got a slushie. They went to the tobacco store and they got vapes, and then they went shopping. And here she is laying on cold milk jugs, which just takes her body temperature down farther. I have always said I have danced around other theories of abduction possibly being sold, but all the time I said that it was a terrible accident and they covered it up. And I believe that. And that would fall directly in line with why Grandma left. If you watch my video, The Pink Elephant in the Room, I talk about why she left. She left because she knew. When Candace came back and started yelling for Summer, as the grandmother, I would ask, well, what happened when you took her to the hospital? What happened when you got her to Dawn's? But see, she doesn't go over that. That's why she could have passed a polygraph test, because she really didn't know what happened to Summer. Summer just disappeared that day because Candace drove off with her. So it would have been easy, depending on the questions and what she had in her mind and how good she was, for her to pass a polygraph. And then she split, because there was no reason for her to stay. As I go over in that video, there was no reason for her to stay. Summer was in a serious state and should have been in a hospital, and they could have saved her. That's not what happened that day. Now, I may be wrong, given everything that's happened, given all the timelines, all the stories, all the little lies. I think that this makes the most sense. They just didn't care enough to take care of Summer and to make sure that Summer was okay. Summer was in desperate trouble that day, and all the adults around her failed. And that's why Hunter has not been the same since, because he knows that she was in desperate trouble that day and that she was very sick. And then when she came up missing, in his heart, he knew that she wasn't missing. He probably knew that Summer had passed away. It's also why the Cadaver Dogs, she never got out of the truck. There would have been no evidence in the house. If she didn't have any kind of injury, there would have been no blood. And she may still have been barely holding on by the time Candace got to Dawn, or she had just passed. And I've also gone over Cadaver Dogs. I've done a video on them. The greatest cadaver dogs in the world, which there may be one or two of at any given time, can't detect a dead body for at least an hour. Most of them can't detect a dead body for 24 hours because that's when the body starts giving off gases as the organs die inside. So, no, they wouldn't have smelled death. They wouldn't have smelled death, and there's no evidence in the house or around the house. That's why it was never cordoned off as a crime scene, because the crime didn't happen there. And the truck didn't have any evidence that Summer died in it, because they took Summer out of the truck before her body could give off the scent of death that the dogs would have needed to pick up on. Thank you all for watching. And subscribe to my channel.
All right, everybody. That's Crime Mystery Monsters. I went ahead and just played the rest of it. You're entitled to believe what you want. This is this woman's opinion. I don't say that I agree with everything she has said in this commentary because I don't know any medical terminology. I bet the best people I could ask the commentary pertaining to this subject matter of the child in the car would be Crystal Moore and Kinsley Masters. They're both nurses in the chat. But anyway, I played this audio in the beginning because of what Grandus was saying. I really wasn't trying to get into the child in the car and all that because people will bicker back and forth about what they think happened to her in the car, if she was alive, dead. I'm not here to argue any of those points. I played her audio to talk about Grandus's part in this and her repeating to someone allegedly that there was no flower planting, there was no unloading groceries, there was no giving of candy. She got out of the truck, went inside her camper, fell asleep for a couple of hours allegedly, got up. She heard Candace outside. She came home about 5:30, car door slammed, no child, started screaming, asked to use a phone, called Don, left. That still shows complicity. Because if you knew that your child left with your grandchild to see Don, then you knew that she filed a fake police report, fraudulent police report, that the child is missing. So Grandus, you are a part of the lie. Whether you aided in hurting the child or not, if this is true, what this woman is saying, if that conversation was actually the truth, of this woman coming forward saying that you told her that all that stuff that Candy said was a lie about that afternoon, you're still a part of the plan because you never came forward and told the police, my daughter lied. There were no groceries. There was no planting of flowers. The child didn't come over here, period, because the child never got out of the truck. She sat in the back seat, allegedly. So you carried the lie. And then you left, allegedly. So what I don't understand is why the fuck you would come back. Why would you even come back? She just stay gone. You didn't really get along with Don, so you didn't really have any reason to come back. And then you left your child for what reason? So maybe there's some truth to it. Because then you have to ask yourself that question. Well, why would you leave your child and your grandchild's missing? You'd only leave if you knew she was dead. Bingo card. So there's no reason to stay to help aid your child and love on your child because you already knew Summer was dead, so there was no need in staying. That makes a lot of sense now that I sit here and think about it. I don't have to stay here and coddle my child and support my child because I already know my grandchild is dead and she ain't coming back. I'll go stay away for a while when some of this hee-haw shit dies down a little bit. But as you see with social media, it hasn't died down. Very interesting. But as I said, you're entitled to believe if you want. As most of you know, Chris Madonna has uploaded content hours ago pertaining to releasing the information about Andy, why he did it. I have not gone over to the channel to watch it. I may watch it, I may not. It depends on my mood. But I'm just letting you all know that obviously Chris Madonna has decided to give a live pertaining to, I guess, his reasonings for uploading the content. As I said, this live was about Grandus, her conversation with this woman, the bathing suit. Let's go there. Some of you say it was a bathing suit, a sundress, or this or that. I have to go back and watch again so I can see for sure what the child had on. I don't remember being a bathing suit just from memory. So what did she have on when she got to Boy H's house? What did she have on when she got in the water? And was she changed at the swimming hole into the zip-up jacket and pants? Because those are relevant things. Was the child sick before she went into the swimming hole? Was she given something to sedate her, make her sick, sluggish? Did she have health problems before going in the water? As I said, I still believe this is orchestrated, but there's always that possibility the child was already a sick child. She was drugged. But I do not believe in abduction. No, I don't. Dry drowning, I don't know anything about that. But everyone is entitled to his or her opinion pertaining to what they think happened. But as I said, I'm not here to really dispute or talk about that subject matter. My subject matter this evening is basically about Grandus, her conversation with the alleged friend, why she would tell somebody, why she didn't think this person wouldn't come forward and tell the truth or what she said if it is the truth, why even go back to Tennessee. And one thing that makes sense, you left originally because you knew the child was dead. Because one, people are asking that. Why would she leave? That's her child. That's her grandchild. Well, you left because you knew the child was dead. So that means there was no abduction. And the issue of what the child had on, because we all have been curious to that. Swimsuit, no swimsuit. Why was she in that outfit? Allegedly, Grandus had this outfit already in the car. So then you have to ask yourself, when was the outfit purchased? That was June. School doesn't start till what? August, perhaps, early August. And then we look at how they carry themselves. Are these the type of people that would be pre-shopping for a child 2 months ahead of time? Possibly not. Where are the drying towels? You never hear anything about that. Drying a child off. What did H dry off with? Did Grandus even go to the swim hole? Actually. So you don't know. Because you don't know who's telling the truth. Who's covering for whom. The evidence. What is the evidence gathered in this case? What was taken from 110 Ben Hill Circle? I don't say road because it's a damn circle. What was taken from the house? Clothes, shoes, hairbrushes, what? What was taken off the property? What was taken out of the vehicle that was driven on that day? Were any other cars confiscated and processed? What evidence is found on cell phones? What phone was actually used on June 15th? Does Candy have more than one cell phone? Has she thrown away any cell phones? What actually happened on June 15th? Did the child die at the swim hole? Was the child died when did she die when she got in the car? Did she die by the time she got to Boy H's house? Did she die on her way after leaving H's house? Did she ever make it home, actually? Or was she taken home and for some reason the mother, what? Because you don't know what to believe. Because you don't know what the hell happened. Does Don Wells know the truth about June 15th pertaining to his child? Or was this all a pre-plan to get the child gone, period, on June 15th? No swim accident, no drugging. Was she sold, bartered? What is the truth? What will the cell towers reveal? Where was the 911 call made by Candy? Was it on the property or off the property? Where was the child discarded? Beach Creek community, Rogersville, Kingsport, outside the area, outside the state. What's the truth? Did they leave anything behind inside of the car? Because that's what the child was. Hair fibers, anything, deterioration of the human body. What? What's the truth? Footprints. All this talk about footprints. Yes, you never hear anything about that in the news. And see, I only go by what the news reports. I don't go by this extra stuff. Because to this day, no news channel has ever revealed that there were footprints found by the child on anybody else's property, Ben Hill, and nowhere else. And that's someone said in the chat. How did the child get somewhere by another person? She couldn't if she was on her own. To be her footprints alone. But if somebody swooped her up on the said property somewhere else, then there would be grown people's footprints. Stay woke. Did she wander off? I don't know. But I don't believe in abduction, no. Too many variations from the parents, from Candy, for me to believe that there was an abduction. Nobody would keep changing the version if it was an abduction. You'd stick to the one story and leave it be. That's basically all I have today. It's that there's been people touching down, for those who didn't come in earlier. YouTubers on the ground taking pictures with Andy. Not Andy, but Dudley, excuse me, because I've mentioned Andy too. Pictures of Dudley. Why? I don't know. Why come back? I don't know. What else you got to talk about to find out, to fly all the way here to Tennessee? Talk about what exactly? How many people are Dudley going to speak to? And that's why some people in the chat were saying they're leery of him. Because when you start talking to different YouTubers, the question is why? You say what you have to say one time and be done with it. Preferably LE, law enforcement. Why do you need to talk to a YouTuber about Don? What happened with Don? Does it matter? Everything's up for your interpretation. Coming forward 6 months later, some will be leery. Why now? And now you're talking to more than one YouTuber. First Sweetie Pie, now somebody else. Why? What are you going to tell in this interview that you didn't tell with Sweetie Pie? People are going to ask. They have a right to ask. So now people may think you're not really genuine because you're jumping on the YouTube bandwagon. And then you hear in this commentary that allegedly the FBI is talking to YouTubers who have talked to Don and Candy. So as I've told you in my previous lives, imagine going to court and hearing all this BS with these YouTubers repeated in court. A juror will chew his or her paw off trying to decipher all this he said, she said, who said what, all this audio played in court. It would be a winded trial just with the YouTube interviews alone. As she said in this commentary, hours and hours of YouTubers talking endlessly, people jumping up on the panel talking. Who the hell wants to sit and listen to that every waking day to get to the bottom of a case? This is where the juror will become bored and they will lose focus and they will bow out. And you don't want someone bowing out in a murder trial, especially pertaining to a child. See, you all don't think about that. These YouTubers don't think about that. And as somebody said, how are you going to feel? You get summoned to court. Now what? You're going to be put on blast, your full name, all that's going to be revealed in court. You all don't know what you're doing because you think this is a game. Talking to Don Wells, talking to people who are coming forward to give information to a YouTuber. Then they go jump to another YouTuber, another YouTuber, another YouTuber. This is not a game. This is about a child. And if it goes to court, you have to now fly your goofy ass to Tennessee and sit and be held up in a hotel and testify about everything you said in a fucking live, plus personal conversations and text messages. You're not very bright. But see, this is what I've been telling the chat, that a lot of YouTubers are just as off as Don and Candy and the people coming forward with information, because you're not thinking about after the fact. You're only thinking about, oh, everybody can't wait to hear what I got to say. Oh, I got the 411. Oh, they want to talk to me. But as I said in the beginning, I'm not going to fly nowhere and talk to no MF that cussed me out on my channel. Not now, not never. And I'm not going to go sit with somebody who I know is blatantly lying to talk to him or her about what? If I've seen discrepancies in your conversation to the news, the 911 dispatch, why the hell am I going to waste my money to go fly on an airplane, book a hotel, pay to stay there, eat, all that bullshit, to listen to more lies? I would only be doing that if I am also with the bullshit. I'm a scream queen. And that's what I'm seeing here. All this BS going on with these YouTubers. You all are just as lame as Don and Candy. You like drama and you stay in drama. And anybody that rides along with it, you with it too. I don't have nothing to do with you. And I done told you how I rock. Don't carry no bone here because I'm not interested. I'm listening to commentary today with a certain person that keeps up drama with the whales, and we all know who I'm talking about. 1 minute in a conversation, he's going on and on about Andy coming forward. But then just the other day, I heard a commentary where he's cussing Andy out on the phone about being a suspect. So which is it? He's a suspect or he isn't a suspect? See, this is why I keep telling you why the people involved in the story need to fuck off and find something to do. You people are immersing yourselves in a case pertaining to a missing child and you don't know what you are doing. Yes, you're impeding on an investigation. You're on the phone with this person. Oh, he wants to clear his name. Oh, he wants to tell us something. Oh, the whales want him to come forward and tell the truth. Tell the truth. And then the next conversation, you're accusing the man of being involved in the crime. So which is it? And as I said in my live the other day, could it be this Andy person is involved with the whales? And hey, you're sitting here trying to just single him out. He could be in cahoots with these people. I don't know. I don't make any claims to know. Excuse me. But I don't know what's going to happen with this case. I don't know who else Dudley wants to talk to. I mean, how many more YouTubers you're going to talk to? Andy, are you going to start now talking to other YouTubers? What is the difference? The problem, all you all coming forward to want to tell something, and now you're hopping. You're going to start channel hopping. That's when people start to become leery of you. Because the point is, you say it one time, that should be enough. Why do you need to go channel to channel? Sweetie Pies was enough. Now you're taking pictures with these people, and now there's going to be more content uploaded. For what reason? For what reason? It's what I said before. You have to be leery of anybody that's even affiliated with the whales. I'm just going to keep it real. They are not an up-to-par couple. And so far, it doesn't look like anybody immersing themselves in the storyline is up to par. And that is not to be mean. It's just common sense. When you decide that you want to start talking to different YouTubers, I'd have to question your loyalty and your motivation. And why you feel the need to keep talking to different people. For what reason? It's very strange. But a lot of questions have come from this information I brought you. And yes, that's a good question in the chat. Well, maybe Dawn left and she was already gone that morning. Maybe Candy was already out the door to get the grandmother to the hospital. I don't know. My thing is you're not going to really know what's the truth anyway. But as I said, Grandus, Shamandus, what's the truth pertaining to the conversation with this woman? If it's the truth what this lady said, then that means you do know that your daughter lied to law officials about an abduction. So you're guilty too. Coming back made no sense. Should have stayed gone. But as I told people, you left possibly because you knew the child was dead. So there was no reason to stay. As far as her passing a polygraph, I don't know anything. And that's one thing I have not heard law officials say, that Grandus passed a lie detector test. And I don't really believe that the Wells passed the lie detector test. And all suspects are still on the table. Is Boy H a suspect? I don't know. It was said that he's been cleared, but I don't know, because I'm going to say it again. Law officials have not said he's not. Until law officials say, this one is not a suspect, then I'm not going to sit here and listen to nothing nobody says to a YouTuber. That means nothing to me. But this case is not about Summer Wells. And no matter what you believe, what happened on June 15th, it's not about her. And that's obvious now. With all the meddling, people wanting to immerse themselves in the case, get their 5 minutes of fame to be seen, going down here, bothering people, going on people's properties, things you know better not to do, but you don't give a fuck. And as I've said before, I'll say it to your damn face. You don't care anything about Summer Wells. Because you know damn well you don't know where she is, and you're not going to ever find Summer Wells. How the hell are you going to find her 6 months in? You won't even know where to look to find Summer Wells. Because you don't even know where she's at. And coming down here bothering these people, for what reason? Because as I said, nobody in the town has been out there rallying and hooping and hollering about Summer Wells. Rogersville, Kingsport, Greenville, Johnson City, Bristol, Tennessee, Bristol, Virginia, all those surrounding counties and towns. Nobody has come forward to stand outside of the Wells house, and then you come here a day late, $1 short. And I don't care what nobody thinks about what I'm saying. It's my damn channel. It's my opinion. You don't care. Because when you were here, you could have talked to everybody you need to talk to, made your damn videos, and been done with it. So you come back to talk about what? Come back to see who, what, where, why, for what? You ain't talking about nothing. All thing you're doing is trying to find a way to get a fucking rifle put to your damn head, blow your damn brains out. You don't know nothing about these people down here in Tennessee. You don't know how they rock. You don't know how they live. You got a warning earlier. Get you some air and keep your trucking. The next time, they ain't going to warn you. They're going to shoot you where you stand and then drag your ass off somewhere and dump you like how they dumped that damn baby. You better wake up. Because see, the one thing you ain't realizing, who's going to go back and tell what happened? Because your friends may not get down the road in time to go tell Hawkins County Sheriff. Hey, you people better wake up. See, you letting your YouTube title go to your head. Don't nobody give a fuck about YouTube back there in the holler. And don't nobody care about YouTube in Tennessee. Because like I said, a lot of people don't even watch YouTube. As old folks would say, you're getting a little too big for your britches. A whole lot of big. It's very sad. Thank you, Kimberly. Some of you people are very sad. And this is all theatrics. I've been saying it to myself for the past couple of days. I said it to myself this morning. Every time I go into the YouTube queue, as of the past couple of days, it's as if I'm watching a reality TV show. I mean, I've been watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta for what? The past 2 days? And I feel like that's what I've been watching with this case. This is nothing but reality TV. He said and she said. And let me come tell you what I got to tell you. And Pookie said and Bubba said. And Billy Ray said and Susie May said. That's it. She don't have no affirmation about nothing. Just a bunch of people talking and telling you this and this and this and that and that. You really don't know what's true. And how could you actually know? Yes, wacko jackos. Everybody wants 5 minutes of fame off of a kid that's possibly dead. That's the sick part. Everybody want to talk about summer. 5 months in, 6 months in. You're a little late. You can upload a video about anything you want. That's your business. But covering a story 5, 6 months in, what's the point? She don't know anything. Nobody knows anything except for the people who got her gone. So what's the point? But I realized with this story, just like Cal City and possibly other stories, that drama breeds drama. And the reason why you have all these jack-o'-lanterns popping up in this storyline is because of the people who procreated Summer Wells and her brothers. And that is to be expected when there are fools on the horizon. You see, a fool begets a fool. So therefore, you should not be shocked that you're hearing all this he said, she said, and wild-ass, whack-ass stories about what happened to Summer on June 15th. Everybody's got a version. Everybody wants to be seen with a fucking cell phone and camera, walking around filming stuff. It's to be expected because chaos breeds chaos. And that's why the world's in the shape it's in. It takes one person to get the ball set in motion. And then somebody else picks up the ball and passes it along. And that's what's going on in this case pertaining to Summer Wells. One person picked up the ball, got her missing, and then somebody carried the ball to somebody else. And then that ball got carried on to social media. And then that person carried it on and passed it on to somebody else. But you're just as grimy as Dawn and Candy. Because in the end, you don't know them. You don't know Summer Wells. You don't know her brothers. You don't know anything about Rogersville. You don't know anything about Tennessee. And frankly, you don't give a fuck. You're just some lame-ass, goofy-ass people that sit up and play around with a computer and a cell phone all damn day with no direction and no damn morals. You don't give a fuck. And I'll say it to your damn face. I don't have a problem. Because you all forgot one thing. I'm in Tennessee. I'm right here. I'm not in Las Vegas. I ain't in New York. I ain't in California. I ain't in Utah. I'm right here. A rock stone away from walking up to you directly and telling you to your damn face that all of you are fake as fuck and you're frauds. And you don't care about any of these people you talk about on your channel. You sit up there and nod your paw. Oh, that's so horrible. Oh my gosh, oh my goodness. You know, miss me with all that. What you should do is take up acting lessons and go get your ass a real job and get a role on a TV show. You know, bypass YouTube. Just go get an agent. Because you all are some great performers. I don't think I can actually say this. There's one person I can actually say that really cares about this case. I'm going to say it. Just from the stuff I've seen, how the people flip-flop, flip out, turn on other people, and you don't care about the kids. You don't care about these kids. You don't care about these people you're talking about. These are real live people you're talking about. You don't care anything about these people. Because you see, you don't care about yourself. because how you carry yourself behind that computer screen tells me everything I need to know. And that means you don't care anything about Summer Wells or anybody else that's missing or deceased. They're just a story. A means to an end. Cash App story. Patreon story. But other than that, you don't give a fuck about them kids. Because you don't care about yourself. And some of you might need to go see an eye doctor. Because you don't look really well. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Maybe you should take a look at yourself after you go live and ask yourself, do you look really pretty up there? Because you don't really look pretty up there. What do they say in Hollywood? The camera doesn't lie. You damn skippy it don't. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans.